Hello. Hello, Blue Math. Hi, it's your friendly math teacher introducing you to chapter 9. Woohoo! There are 12 chapters in this book, and I've never gotten to all 12. That would be so hard. Here is my job for you today. Not a job for you today. Here's my job. So we have about 2 weeks left of school, and I need to make sure that you are in tip-top shape to be traveling into green math next year as a 7th grader. Or Claire and Paul, you'll be 6th graders in green math. And remember that all the books are color-coded. So there's blue, there's green, there's red. So you will be in red for your 8th grade year. And so they're all from the same book family. They all word things the same way. That's why when we've taken notes all year and note cards and your measurement and geometry books, you're going to save all of that because Mrs. Zeidel knows that you come with it. If you want to give it to me for safekeeping when you return all your textbooks in June, that's fine. I will keep it and keep track of it. If you don't give it to me, though, then you're on your own for keeping it. You have seen, and I have said this, you have seen Michelina and Nicole pull theirs out often during the school year, and you see how helpful they are to already have written this stuff down. Okay, so keep track of that, and Mrs. Zeidel knows that you come with it, so it's all okay. Here we are. Oh, my job. Sorry. I need to get you in tip-top shape for green math. I'm not going to spend too much time. As you notice, I just breezed by with the end of chapter 8. We didn't do any review. We didn't do any test. I'm not concerned about that. You know, geometry stuff, it's not anything that you're expected to memorize in your head. You'll just, when you hit geometry again next year, it will all come back to you. It will. Polygons and hectagons and rhombuses and trapezoids and all those kinds of things, it will come back to you. How to use your protractor, which I need those back, by the way. I know somebody returned it. I think it was Jaden, maybe. Somebody returned their protractor, but those protractors belong to Redeemer, so I need those back. So put them in a Ziploc bag so that Redeemer gets those back so that other kids can use them next year. So you're going to find me going fast. I might even skip parts of chapter 9. You have in April when you came to do a swap day, you got chapter 9 all stapled together for you so everybody has it. So you're going to need that now. Chapter 8 is all over with. I don't need that quiz. Well, you did the quizzes. I don't need the test paper. You can just toss those away. And you typed your cumulative review to me yesterday. So don't be surprised if I, skip something in chapter 9 and I don't refer to it. It's okay. I got my plan. I only have, like I said, a couple weeks to get you ready for green math. So here we go. Chapter 9, lesson 1 is introducing you to the metric unit system. My little C in metric got really tiny. It's weird for me. Sorry. Over here, I just want to familiarize yourself. The prefix kilo stands for 1,000 of somethings. Centi is going to be 100th, so it's in the fractions, 100th of something. And then milli has to do with not a million, but it has to do with thousandths. You know how I like to do that. Thousandths. And you can see I underlined the place value there in that 1.001 for milli of something. And so as we go through these 3 pieces of metric weight or metric units, we're going to talk about specifically the first one, length. Second one is about mass, or we say that's the weight of something. And the third thing is capacity, or you might know that better as volume. We are on page 416 in your textbook. And here we go. You are going to continue to write these things down in your measurement and geometry book if you have room. If you don't, you could make index cards, punch holes in them, cut little holes in them if you have them at home. You can continue with no cards if you don't have room in your measurement and geometry book. Okay? The length. There are four very familiar units of length that we use. We use the kilometer, and notice that it's all lowercase. It must be lowercase. The kilometer is km. Typically, we say that this is about 2.5 times around a track. I know we don't have a track at Redeemer, but if you look at a track, some of you run in track. I know Annika does. And so 2.5 times. So if you're running like a 5K or that kind of thing, we're talking about a kilometer. So 2.5 times around a track is a kilometer. So that gives you, all of these gives you a mental idea about how far this unit is. So 2.5 times around a track is a kilometer. And you can say kilometer or kilometer. I tend to say kilometer. The meter, as you see, I've started. The meter is the classic unit of length. It's just your classic. It's where you start with the length system. The meter is a lowercase m, sorry, and the typical distance is floor to doorknob. All of our doors here in America are measured with a meter stick. And so as you look at your own doors at school, doors at your home, the doorknob placement is a meter from the floor to the doorknob. And so often if you think of meters, it's floor to doorknob. So that's a classic Miss Keem-ism, floor to doorknob. The centimeter is a cm, and that is the thickness of a CD case. If you can imagine the plastic cases that they come in, we don't often buy CDs anymore. We just kind of digitally download our music. But if you have a CD case, one of those plastic cases, that's a centimeter thick, 1 centimeter thick. So it's very small. A millimeter, there's that prefix using milli. Millimeter, it's small m's. That's the thickness of the CD, the actual CD. Notice I underlined case versus CD. The millimeter is the thickness of the CD, which is really, really thin. Not sheet of paper thin, but it's pretty thin. So those are the four that we typically use. There are more spots in the metric system. There are more, but we're only using those four for length. As you can see from mass, our second thing we're looking at today, there's only 3 that we're using with today. Mass, in other words, is how much something weighs, how heavy it is. The kilogram, lowercase letters, is the equivalency, and this is in your textbook, they all are. They're talking about VHS tapes or VCR tapes. I didn't know if you would know what a VHS tape is. Those rectangular black plastic tapes that have movies on them, now we call them DVDs, but before DVD came something of a VHS tape. So 4 of those stacked on top of each other is how heavy a kilogram is. So not really heavy. Not really heavy, but that's the metric system for you. The gram, I starred, and so should you in your notes. The gram is the base unit for mass. It's where it all starts with the metric system, is the gram, lowercase g, and that is the weight of a small paper clip. Very, very light for us. The milligram, you can see my little sad emoji there, is the weight of an eyelash, a milligram. The most common thing you hear about in milligrams is medicine. I know sometimes like taking some Tylenol or something is 500 milligrams. Well, think of the weight of 500 eyelashes, and that would be what a milligram, 500 milligrams would look like. So 1 milligram would be how heavy an eyelash is, which, whew, isn't very heavy. You could put my emoji face in your book or not. The third thing we're going to look at today is about capacity, or that is another word for volume. Or that is another word for how much space is inside of something. Okay, so if you have a brown box that you're going to ship something to, or Amazon ships it to you, how much space does that box have inside of it? So we think about there's 3 units in the metric system. There are more, but your book only wants you to concentrate on 3. We have the liter, the capital L liter is your base unit. So this is a KL. K is lowercase, L is capitalized. Why? I don't know, guys. It's just how it is. It's just how Mr. Metric made the metric system. I'm kidding. There's not really a Mr. Metric. lowercase k, capital L. This would be the equivalency of filling up 2 to 3 bathtubs full of water or liquid. Okay, so the space inside of 2 to 3 bathtubs. The reason that there's a range is because there's not really a standard size of a bathtub. Some bathtubs come small, some comes larger. We're not talking like hot tub. We're talking about bathtub. So we just generally think about it can hold a kiloliter. 1 kiloliter is equal to 2 to 3 bathtubs full of water. The liter is about the size of a juice bottle, like an orange juice container. You can get orange juice that is larger than that in like a gallon, but the gallon is not the metric system. The gallon is the English customary system. The other thing that you might be familiar with is 2 liters. A 2-liter bottle might be a bottle of pop. Okay, pop often comes in those plastic containers that are a 2-liter. And sometimes you maybe have just grown up with that term at your house. Oh, go get a 2-liter of Coke, or go get a 2-liter of Sprite, root beer, lemonade, pick your drink. So a liter is going to be like an orange juice container, but then 2 liters is more of that pop bottle size. And then the very teeny tiny milliliter, there's that prefix milli. The milliliter, lowercase m, capital L, must be like that. It's about as much as an eyedropper would fill up. So the little black rubber bulbs that you squeeze and you suck up water, like my sound. You suck up the water or suck up the medicine. Okay, sometimes we do that with medicine for little kids. That eyedropper, how much the eyedropper can hold would be 1 milliliter. So these are things that when you write these in your notes, these are things to help you because we're a country who is not used to the metric system. We use the customary system. And so here are little tricks to help you with today's homework. I want you to flip to page 418. Put me on pause if you need to. And I am going to give you the answers to the you try today because I don't want you to do the you try. So I want you to see if you would get it correct. So 9, having to choose the right unit of length. So we have 4 to choose from. The width of a highway. Okay, the width of a highway. Sometimes those are 4 lanes. Distance around a track would be too big. Thickness of a CD case is too little for a highway. I'm going to choose meter. Yay! I'm correct. Length of an eyelash. Length. Now eyelashes, they're not very big, so kilometer, meter. A centimeter. The thickness of a plastic case or the thickness of a CD. I think that you could pick either centimeter or millimeter. Sometimes people have really long eyelashes, where I could see you would pick a centimeter. Either one of those would be okay. Number 11, height of your desk. Thinking about your school desk here. Well, floor to doorknob, we could pick meters, because that might come to your hips if you're standing up, but your desk isn't that tall. So I think we need to go one smaller and do it in centimeters, because a meter would be too tall. 12, the width of your finger. Well, look at your finger. There's mine. Is that about the thickness of a CD case? Would it be the thickness of a CD? You could go with both. You could go with both a centimeter or a millimeter. Obviously, you're not going to use meter. My finger is not the distance of floor to doorknob. Ay. And you're obviously not going to do kilometer. I think we're okay with these. I'm going to go down to 15. Choosing the appropriate unit for mass. We have 3 choices. The kg, the g, the mg. Sorry, my elbow is in my leg and it hurts. The first one is a pencil. Okay, so we think of the weight of a pencil. Is that worth 4 VCR tapes? No. Could we do it in paper clips? Yeah. We could measure it in grams. So gram would be the most appropriate. Could we measure it out in milligrams? We could. But remember, 1 milligram is like the weight of an eyelash. So a pencil is going to be lots of those. Lots of those. So gram is your best answer for pencil. How about, I'm going to skip to 17. How about a chair? Thinking about a kitchen chair or a dining room chair. How heavy would that be to you? Eyelashes, paperclip, Kilogram is our largest one we have, so that answer would be a kilogram. How about, let's skip to 19, a potato. Potato. Eyelashes, paper clips, maybe. Potato's not that heavy. 4 VCR tapes, maybe. Depends on the potato. I'd say we could either go gram or kilogram. Your book wants to say gram. So potato, gram. I'm going to skip down to the capacity ones. Again, we just have 3 to choose from. The kiloliter, the liter, or the milliliter. How about, I'm going to skip to 22, a juice box. Like a good old, Capri Sun or a Juicy juice box. Bathtub, Big as a juice bottle, How about a milliliter? I mean, yes, the juice box has lots of liquid in it, or not lots of liquid, but we would choose milliliter for a juice box. How about your bucket of paint? If we got one of those big buckets of paint, could that be as much as an eyedropper full? That would not be enough paint for you to paint your toenail. How about a liter of having a quantity of how much juice would be in a juice container, a juice bottle? Could be. Bathtubs full? Oh no, we wouldn't want to carry that much paint. Okay, so the liter is the best choice for bucket of paint. And I'm gonna stop there. So as you've seen here at the bottom here, your homework today, there's not gonna be a you try. We just did the you try together. Your homework is to take out 9-1. These are all word answers, so you can type them. Getting pictures of your homework is harder for me. It's doable, but it's harder for me, so I'd rather you type your answers into the Google question here. So you've got from 1 to 22. The last 6 are true or false. Okay, is it reasonable? But all the others you're going to type out. Now, you have a choice. You can use the abbreviation. Like if you wanted to say the answer is KM, you could put KM, but you must keep it lowercase. If you were doing something for liter, you must give that liter the capital L, because that's how the system works, okay? So I don't care if you use the abbreviation, that's fine, or you can spell out the word as well. So your homework tonight is 9-1. It's a very easy homework for a Friday. I'll give you to 6 o'clock if you need the extra time. But tonight we are learning about 9-1, and you are doing practice 9-1 for homework. Bye.